What's up, Gaylord? How you doing? Me? Tired, as usual, because I did it again. Remember when last week I updated the file and published it publicly so that people could enjoy it? Well, I did the same with one of probably, if not my most requested mods to become public. So, yeah. This is Arsenal. I spent an entire week polishing it. The mod comes with a few things, and as usual, I thought I'd make a video about, well, what's in it. Duh. So the main thing that this mod adds is two new weapons, the scythe and the anchor blade. The scythe you may recognize from my original making a mod for Clown Piss and unleashing him on my SMP where I made the clown scythe, which is available in this mod, but the default scythe is this one. Now let me summon an invincible husk so I can show you what the scythe exactly does. The scythe is a pretty slow weapon. It's pretty decent, it's pretty slow. Those custom hit sounds, they always hit just right. So as you can see, it comes with a custom hit sound and a custom sweep particle. It's a pretty slow 10 attack damage, 1 attack speed, but it has an additional plus 0.5 attack range. Now these are pretty cool and it's nothing to write home about, but whenever you land a crit on an entity, it will actually reap it towards you. And if it's on another player that uses a shield, which I do not have my hands on right now, I'm all alone, it will also disable the shield, basically just like an axe. Now, there is a cool little thing about this scythe and its reaping ability. As you can notice, the husk, even though I'm reaping it towards me, cannot attack me. Because basically, I mean, it can sometimes, but basically, for half a second, this little guy is actually getting an effect called stun. I'm just gonna / effect give Dr. Arsenal stun, as you can see here, which basically, as you guessed, because you're very bright, stuns them. It basically makes them think that you're on their team, so they're not gonna attack you for half a second, which means that if you chain the crits very well, better than I'm doing right now, you will basically be able to not take any damage, which is arguably a little busted. Let me show you an example. Specifically, the Warden example. This guy, I should probably / effect give Dr. resistance. There we go, just to be sure. This guy is very angry at us. He's very angry at us. He's very angry at us. And now he's not. It is pretty strong on Wardens. You can pretty much I'm probably gonna have to fix that in the future, but for now, it is a thing you can do. If you're very careful with your crits. Because, yeah, otherwise I did not crit him, and you're dead, and it's over. Oh, nice showing me your chest cavity, boy. So nice. No, you don't hate me. You love me, actually. You love me. My big bear. My big teddy bear. Stop! He's trying to kiss me. That's exactly what's going on. This bit is going on for too long. I'm sorry. With this scythe, there's also a new enchantment that has been added, which is Arsenal Spewing, which I have enchantment glitch disabled, but as you can see, it's enchanted right now, which, when you right-click, creates a blood blade. Now hold on, all the husks I summon are invincible, so I'm gonna spawn a few witches. Now this blood blade is pretty decent. It's a good projectile, but its real use comes in PvP, where if you have a potion effect, I'm gonna use an enchanted golden apple. It's probably the worst example possible, but as you can see, I've got 2 minutes of absorption, 5 minutes of resistance, 5 minutes of fire resistance, and 10 seconds of regeneration. And when I use the scythe, half of these effects have been, well, they've been cut in half. Where are they gone, you may ask? Well, see, simple. They've been transferred to the blood blade, and whenever this blood blade hits any entity, hold on, I'm gonna do a better example, which is gonna be poison. Whenever this blood blade hits any entities, you'll share your effects with them. So as you can see here, with poison, and it works with, well, basically any effect in the game. So you just have fun with that. Now, another thing I should probably mention is that this blood blade does not exactly come free. It will cost you 1.5 heart to actually throw one, and I have protection 4 armor here. It will naturally bypass any enchantment, any protection, any invulnerability, so use it carefully. You know, it's not something, it's not a free kill weapon, so just so you know. you can bleed out. So be careful with it. And finally, more as a bonus use rather than its true use, you can also use it as a hoe because, well, you know, I like weapons that also do tool uses because, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. It saves you one slot in your inventory. You have a cool looking weapon and you do it in style. And it's a scythe, you know, it's meant to harvest stuff. Why wouldn't it be able to harvest leaves? All right. I'm really trying too hard to justify this, but it's cool, okay? So I don't want to hear it. Now, the second and currently final weapon in this mod is the anchor blade from my video, what's it named? Turning my worst enemy into my strongest ally with one Minecraft mod, where I basically made this anchor for Luxintrus, a very good friend of mine. And yeah, as you can see, it's not as orange as it is in that video. This is the one in the video. Not really. It was a 3D model in the video. I turned them into 2D models. But here it is, the anchor blade. Now, this one, I should probably start with that, acts as a pickaxe. Yes, again, I'm really trying too hard to justify these, but hey, it's a giant big anchor, okay? It looks like a pickaxe. It's a cool pickaxe. Netherite level, like the scythe being a netherite level hoe, but this one also comes with a cool bonus in the fact that it can actually mine faster underwater. So as you can see, I'm not really struggling mining anything underwater right now, and I don't even have respiration. If I just get a netherite pickaxe before I drown, as you can see, yeah, it's a whole different level. So, you know, as a tool, it's kind of nice, it's kind of cool. But as a weapon, how does it fare? Well, it comes with a 10 attack damage and 1 attack speed. So it's pretty much the same to the scythe. Thinking about it now, I am maybe going to change that in the future. But currently, it is what it is. It is a pretty cool, heavy-hitting weapon, again, with custom sounds and custom swings. Oh my god. Oh, this one's personally my favorite. Oh, it sounds so nice. It sounds... Oh, well, I did a spoiler here. My bad. Well, let's get into it. The second use of it is that you can use right-click and actually throw the anchor blade. As you can see... Yeah, well, that's basically throwing it. Now, as you can guess, this is not just to look cool. If you throw the anchor and it hits a block, as you can see, it's always so satisfying. It creates a shockwave, and if I spawn a mob, as you can see close to it, you and the mob will basically be knocked back from the anchor shockwave, which means you can use this as a pogo stick. It's just a fun pogo stick. It's actually so nice. Like, look at this. Like, just look at this. I know since then we've had wind charges, but look, this was before, and I'm sorry. I'm dying on this hill. I'm not sacrificing this feature because wind charges are now in the game. Can you leave me alone, please? Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, just like the scythe, it also comes with its own unique enchantment in the form of reeling. And as you can guess, well, we're going to reel things in. And as you can guess, well, instead of having the shockwave whenever you use the anchor blade on the ground, instead, it reels you in, which is pretty cool. You can use it as a makeshift grapple, which I'm struggling with, but there you go. And actually, as you can guess, it also reels in entities. Just like that. And what I particularly like for it is just being able to use it underwater. Underwater, it is so efficient. Which, by the way, yeah, I should probably mention, but the anchor blade is not a projectile that is slowed down underwater. Because, you know, well, it's an anchor, so, you know, water and stuff like that. Why would it be slowed down? It just is so much cooler when it's not. And I'm gonna hear you say, well, I guess it's okay underwater, but is that really it? No, my friend. It's not. If you've ever played Just Cause 3, this was not even intentional. But this is basically just the wingsuit from Just Cause 3. Which, I'm gonna be honest, probably not as good as rockets, but it is. Oh my god. It is just so much more fun. Look at that. Oh, don't ask me how a giant anchor that probably weighs a ton manages to be thrown so easily and grapple you in this fast. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense, right? We just... as long as it's fun. As long as it's fun. That is one interesting cave. Oh, can I do this? Can I do this? No touching? Oh, wait, this goes deep. What the hell? Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Hold on. I mean, it's decent in caves. It's all right. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm no Terra Swoop Force expert, but I'm doing pretty all right. Oh, yeah, and I should probably mention, whenever you right-click, you basically reel it instantly, which is probably what I should have mentioned, because if you don't, well, this happens. Like this. And we don't want that. That's ugly. Now, I hear you ask, how do we get these weapons, Rat? What's the beautiful crafting recipe you've come up with? Well, I couldn't come up with one, so instead, I made it random drop. But hear me out, hear me out. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think. Basically, the way it works is that if you have the mod installed, Vindicators will have a chance to spawn with the Scythe, and Drowned will have a chance to spawn with the Anchor Blade. Each of them, it's about 6.5%, same chance as a Drowned spawning with the Trident. And I hear you complain, oh no, the drop chances are gonna be horrible. It's gonna be nightmarish. Well, see, I hate the Minecraft Trident drop chances myself, so as a bonus, when you install this mod, if I can get a Drowned with a Trident, just like the Anchor Blade and just like the Scythe from Vindicators, they will be guaranteed to drop all the time, as you can see here with the Anchor Blade and the Trident, and they will be full durability. Don't worry, you're welcome. It's on the house. Oh, and another bonus feature that I completely forgot about until I realized in the code that it was a thing, you'll be able to use fire charges, like fireballs. You'll just be able to throw them. I think this just makes so much more sense, and it's just, well, you know, so much better than a one-time use flint and steel. So yeah, there's that as well in the mod. Now, you've been seeing these since the start of the video, and you've been asking yourself, wow, oh my god, these look so cool, right? I know they look awesome, because what's the point of adding really cool weapons if you have no real cool way to display them? So halfway through developing this mod and posting my progress on Blue Sky, which you can follow me there if you want to see progress of the mods I work on publicly and show sneak peeks there, I got tired of having to use armor stands, which you even have to spawn with arms with a command. Come on, that's so silly. And don't get me started on item frames. I mean, come on. I mean, really? Look at the difference. Look at the difference between this sword and this item frame. This is lame. So I added weapon racks, which you can place just like item frames on pretty much everything, and you can place, well, weapons in them. It won't work with regular items, as you can see here, but for weapons like tridents, the arsenal weapons, Vanilla swords, tools like the axe you can see here, you can, well, display your weapons and just have a really, really cool display wall with all your weapons. I don't know what to say. It's just a weapon rack, man. Come on. It's nothing special, but it looks so cool, as you can see with the bow displayed like this by default. Oh, wow. You can also make some cool imaginary weapon combinations like this. You can display, you can rotate it just like an item frame. But one thing I really like about it is, as you can see, these swords, they are on top of ladders, and this axe is just on top of this anvil, and this sword is on the side, almost embedded in the stone, and this anchor is on the ground here. Well, see, with a simple sneak right click instead of rotating, you will basically make it invincible, because I am baffled that this is not a vanilla feature on the item frames. So I made it one here, which allows you to make some really, really cool displays, because, you know, by default, it doesn't look too good on swords. It looks a little bit goofy because it was made for, you know, for the big weapons, like here as well. And by making it invisible, you can make some pretty nice combinations here, like for instance with ladders, which that almost looks like a traditional katana / weapon rack where you have them stand on their side against the wall. You can also display shields, naturally shield with banners. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I know I've had a lot of fun with it. As you can see here, we have this this scythe, which is another bonus I forgot to mention. It doesn't need to actually stand on something. Like, for instance, there is no barrier block here. You don't need to have anything, just because you can that way have it be embedded in the ground. That just looks so much cooler. And also, like here, another good example of having it not rely on anything. You can make you can make this very French thing. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can have a lot of fun with it. Oh, and one thing I should probably mention, while you can punch the weapons out of the rack easily, I hate how flimsy item frames are. So whenever you place a weapon rack, it'll be sturdily put in place. Like, look, it's made out of iron. It's very sturdy. Unless you sneak, punch it, then it will drop. Just a safety measure because, again, I hate how flimsy item frames are. It's ridiculous. But what about yourself? I want to look cool. I want to have a big weapon shown on myself. Don't worry. I've got you covered for that as well. See, there is a new slot. I'm probably going to go in survival for it to be visible more easily. As you can see above my second hand slot, you now have a slot for displaying weapons on your back. There's also a keybind for practicality. In here, arsenal, select weapon slot, swap with weapon slot. I have them on R and T by default. I think it's R and G. There we go. And as you can see, if I use that keybind, boom, I now have the anchor on my back. I can swap it to the scythe. And naturally, as you move, the weapon will jiggle around with you. It will move around. Oh my god. It just makes it look so smooth. It's hooked onto the cape code, and oh my god. That was such a smart decision because it is so smooth and nice. It is so fluid. It's so nice. But a fun fact, if you do have a cape, you might be worried that it's going to clip with your weapon because as you can see, it does not flap that much backwards with the scythe. Well, fun fact, the cape will actually be limited by the weapon on your back. If you have an item on your back, like the anchor or the scythe, or, you know, if you have, like, for instance, a sword, a trident, or anything goofy, because again, it's still work in progress. You can still put anything you want currently and have fun with it. I made the shield look cool, but if you do have a weapon on your back, the cape will basically be limited by it. It will not like completely clip through it. It should follow the weapon. It should follow the weapon, so you're not going to look like a complete idiot. You don't have to unequip your cape. You're going to look fine. And like you saw, there's also a second keybind which allows you to basically temporarily select that slot. As you can see, I'm using the anchor blade directly from my back, and I can just put it back instantly. Same with the scythe. I can use it here. As you can see, I have the scythe, then I put it back on my back, and I use my anchor blade. And you can swap weapons very easily. You know, you can have your shield instantly swap to scythe, then boom, trident, then boom, scythe. I'm not a PvP expert, but it is a pretty useful feature from the few times I've viewed it on Content SMP. And by the way, thank you so much, Amy, for coding it, because it is so good. I just love this feature. Now, the cool thing about the back slot and the weapon racks is that if you're a mod developer or a data pack developer, you can actually add some compatibility to Arsenal with your mod. I'm going to use an example here that doesn't have compatibility. If you, for instance, get an Amorite longsword here, and I get a weapon rack here, as you can see, I won't be able to display it because it's not taken care of by default. You know, by default, it only accepts the Vanlat tool tags and the Arsenal weapons, basically regroups all of that into the displayable categories. So there's a bunch of tags that will basically tell the mod how to display things. And if you don't do that, as you can see, for example, this Amorite sword completely looks like an Amorite shiv. So as an example here, for instance, I would want to add the Amorite longsword to the displayable tag so that I can put it in a weapon rack, and the big weapons tag from Arsenal so that it can actually display big on my back. There's all the info on the mod page, so if you're a mod developer, just look at that. It'll be easier. And that is everything that's in the mod. But now I may hear you ask, Rats, what about the clown scythe, or this cool golden anchor, or this cool golden scythe, or this folly scythe, or the l'encre? Well, these are actually skins for the people who support me on Ko-Fi and YouTube. For the Ko-Fi members and YouTube members, you actually get to use these skins. These are the only two that's available to everyone. But for supporters, you can actually go to an anvil or a smithing table, and when you sneak and use the scythe or the anchor blade on it, you can actually cycle through the skins. There's quite a few of them for the scythe. There's about 3 for the anchor blade, as you can see. Currently, these are all the supported cosmetics at the time of me making this video. There's the Grace, which is the clown scythe, which some of them, like Grace and l'encre, even have some lore when you press shift in the inventory, which you can read about. There's also this carrion scythe, this carrion anchor blade, this gilded anchor blade, gilded scythe, this custom rose scythe, and as well as this folly tree branch scythe. Because for the longest time, I've been using the clown scythe on Content SMP. I needed my own themed weapon. I mean, I'm not going to be able to use it on Content SMP, but hey, at least I have it from now on, in the future. Naturally, these are only cosmetic and do not give you any advantage whatsoever, but they do come with custom colors whenever you hit a mob, because, you know, it just looks so much nicer that way. And for Inca skins, they also come with a custom chain, as you can see right here. And yeah, every single one of them comes with its own colors. No advantage. It's still the same regular item as these two. But yeah, just a little thanks to my supporters, because you guys are awesome. But yeah, that is everything about the mod. I hope you have fun with it. It's pretty simple, pretty small, but I tried to polish it as much as I could. And there's, as you can see here, there's a lot of fun stuff and combos that you can have. But yeah, I hope you have fun with the mod. Enjoy discovering all the combos, because there's definitely, again, a lot of fun stuff you can do with just these two weapons. And in the future, hopefully, I have some more planned. So no promises, but I do want to add a bunch more. And yeah, until then, I don't know how to end these videos, so I'll just end it just like how we started it. See you, Gaylord. Have a nice one.